Right, hello and welcome back to another video. And in this one, Swansea City have announced the appointment of head coach Vitor Matos from Maritimo. Obviously, he coached them in the second division. I believe they currently sit in third at the moment. They did have a game coming up on the weekend, so I believe he took charge of that, which will be the last one in charge for them. But yeah, I'm glad we finally got a manager done and over the line. Obviously, there was a lot of speculation around Hellberg, and then the deal with Matos was off, and then it was back on again, and we've had Russell Martin in the frame as well, and Michael Carrick and other names. So it's good to finally get a manager announced. I know it is a bit of a risk. Obviously, he's a young manager, and the Maritimo job was sort of the only real you know sort of head coach job that he's really had. Obviously, I know he was a development coach at Liverpool, so he's had some experience being at a really big club and around some big names. So I saw he obviously has got experience in that sense, but as a first team head coach, it's only that Maritimo job. But I believe they currently sit in third place in the second division under him. So he's done a really good job there. In the short space of time that he's been there. So yeah, as I said, I'm just glad we finally got someone over the line, and we've from the off we just got to get behind him, haven't we? Really, obviously with the sacking of Sheehan and then that game under Darren O'Day, against Bristol, nothing against O'Day, he couldn't have done anything really. I think even if we brought in Matos before that game, I don't think anything really would have changed too dramatically. So. Yeah, I mean, as I said, I'm just glad we finally got someone over the line, and we got to back him on Tuesday, and I'm hoping he's here for the long run, because we haven't really had any managers for more than 2 seasons, for as long as I've been supporting the Swans anyway. And I know we've obviously parted ways with them, understandably and reasonably, but it would be nice to hopefully have a manager in for the long run. Obviously, that's very dependent on results, but hopefully he will, get off to a good start. I know he's got a very tough job on his hands at the moment, especially the way we're playing, and I think the players have just dropped their heads. But we spent well, we brought in good players. There's definitely some really good players in there, and we have seen that at times throughout the season. But it's just hopefully we can get that on a bit more of a consistent basis, and hopefully start trying to drag ourselves away from that relegation zone, because at the moment we may get sucked in very, very soon. I think we currently sit in 20th place. I'm personally, I'm not too worried at the moment. I think if we can get our confidence back, string a few games of results and wins together, then I don't think we'll really have any worries just yet. But I'm not saying that couldn't happen, because the position we're in, obviously we are only 2 places above the relegation zone, so anything can happen in that sense. And but yeah, it would be nice if we could get off to a good start. I'm not expecting things to click straight away, because he's not going to have much time before the Derby game to sort of get his plans and ideas across. He might not have even met all the players by then, and all the staff. So yeah, it's going to be interesting. But then obviously he's got that West Brom game, which will be good for him. Obviously following on from the Derby game, he'll have a lot of time a few days to prepare then for the West Brom game. But yeah, no, I'm pleased with the appointment. To be fair, he's a young manager. We've given managers such as Sheehan, and I guess even Luke Williams and Russell Martin to a certain extent, young managers who've not had that much experience. I know obviously they haven't really worked out, but it's another risk that we're sort of willing to take. We've got I think it might be the first foreign manager that we've had since the Premier League days, I believe. Obviously all the rest we've had have been English or Welsh, so or Irish as well, with Alan Sheehan. But yeah, I think it's the first sort of foreign manager we've had since the Premier League days. So be interested. Obviously, we've brought in all these foreign players as well. So I think it might help with them. It might help get the best out of Franco and Ronald. Well, I mean, as I say, get the best out of Franco. He's already performing really well anyway, and he has done for us. But he might be able to develop him even further, and I'm hoping he can help out with Ronald as well, because obviously they both speak Portuguese. So I think I think it might be helpful in that sense, and hopefully you can get the best out of the players that we do have, and turn things around. But it's not going to be an easy one, and it's not going to happen overnight. So you've just got to be patient. I know it's annoying because we had to be patient with so many managers over the last months and years, but yeah, it is what it is. And as I said, I'm finally glad we've got someone over the line. He will obviously be bringing a few of his staff members with him as well. To work here as well. He's going to be bringing Jose Mendes with him, Diogo Medeiros, and Goncalo Richer as well. So I believe that Goncalo Richer as well is only 26 years old. So he's going to be the same age and younger than some of the players, which is mental. But they've got between obviously Matos and those three players that I just mentioned, three staff members I just mentioned. They're a very young group. I don't know what that means for some of the other coaching members that are currently at the club. Whether some of them will stay, some of them will go, or whether they'll all go, or whether they'll all stay. I don't know. But yeah, it's good that he's allowed to bring some of his coaching staff members with him. I think that'll help massively as well, and they might also be able to get the best out of players such as Ronald and Franco as well. So yeah, I'm obviously pleased with that, but it'd be interesting to see how different how differently he lines up to the likes of Sheehan and O'Dave. But as I said, I'm just over the moon that we've managed to get it done. It's taken a long time. We never do things the easy way at the Swans. We've known that over the years. But yeah, I think it's a good appointment. It's a risk, but it's a risk that you've got to be willing to take if you're going to be pushing for promotion in the Championship. But I don't see that happening this season. I think we're too far adrift. But hopefully we can get off to a good season, good start to the rest of the season, and hopefully maybe try and finish mid-table and then go for it again next year. It's a bit frustrating because there was so much optimism around potential playoff push this season, but I think we're too far adrift from that. But yeah, we've got to get behind him. I think it's definitely a risk, as I said, but it's also a promising appointment, and I'm glad we managed to get him over the line. And yeah, welcome to Swansea City, Vitor Matos. But yeah, once again, a massive thanks for watching this. All of you, let me know in the comments as well what you think about this appointment, whether whether you're excited for it, a bit skeptical, whether you think it was a right decision, or whether you think we should have gone with someone else. But yeah, as I said, a massive thanks for watching this, and I will be back with the next one very, very soon. So yeah, stay tuned, and thanks for watching.